All right, grasshoppers, we have some stuff to
Yeah.
cover today.
Yeah.
Captain Nemo is in
Captain
the
Nemo.
water.
Yeah.
What? So you're 24 years old? Look at the body of the dude.
27.
27. Oh God.
67 next week.
67 next week. Is it a dog barking?
Neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
Yeah. See, I think it's you. They follow you, man, no matter where.
That's
See?
right. It wasn't barking before until.
Yeah. It just started when I heard your voice. It was fine
Oh,
all morning.
God.
I'm out here running around doing stuff, nothing.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's right too. We were talking. You must hear my voice. He's going.
Yeah.
Cool. How are you doing? You're out at your brother-in-law's
Yeah.
cabana,
Uh-huh.
the little
Yeah,
shack.
we got out here yesterday. Yesterday was gorgeous. Today's a little cloudy, but I think the rest of the week's going to be phenomenal. So head off to the beach for a bit and whatever. Yeah.
So our level, we hate to talk about politics too much, so I'm not talking left or right. So there's a few things we need to cover up. So the level of amount that how they think we're stupid goes to a new height. So that's the White House is the most filmed and watched building in the world, safest. They have cameras everywhere, and somehow they decide they cannot find who left the cocaine in the White House.
I think it's one of those things where by saying you don't know whose
Right.
it is, you're exactly telling us whose it is.
Totally. Right.
I mean,
Hey,
simple
Hunter, here's your stuff left there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
baking soda. It's baking soda.
I mean, look, I feel bad. I mean, the guy's got a horrific addiction issue, and again, we don't know 100%
Right.
sure if it's his, but you'd have to kind of. The odds are it is.
Right. Like who else is going? Who else is going to bring cocaine into the White House?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Like-
and I guess the disturbing part about it is, it just seems like we live in a universe now where they lie straight to your face and they don't care. They just expect you to.
Well,
believe it.
and they know that we're just so fed up with everything. Everybody's like, forget it. I don't even
Well,
worry.
yeah, and that's to me, and this is my opinion, like with the whole Trump thing, there's nobody in between. Either you like Trump or you don't.
Totally. Yeah.
But here's my thing: if you really truly feel he is evil or he's corrupted or whatever, you still have to say at this point, I've lost count of indictments. Do you know, and after a while, it's just like when a coach yells,
Right.
and you don't hear it anymore.
Yeah. Totally.
It's the same thing. Like, I mean, I think there's another indictment coming this week. It's like one a week.
I know.
And after a while, it just loses all its.
Remember when Clinton got
credibility.
impeached? It was a big deal.
Yes.
But, and then when that was done, they didn't do anything to him. They gave him a reprimand. That was it. This whole big thing about getting impeached. And
so the thing is, it's an impeachment proceeding, but it didn't go to the Senate. So for the president or anybody, I mean, you can impeach the Secretary of Transportation, which they've talked about, not transportation, immigration. But anyhow, point is that it has to go from the House, Congress to the Senate, and none of this has ever reached the Senate because this is an actual trial where they bring the president in and he's on the stand, he's on trial. So it's political theater. It was political theater with Clinton too, because really, I have to say, there were some things that Bill Clinton did really well. I mean, the country was humming along pretty well.
Yeah.
And he was able to reach, as they say.
That's what Monica Lewinsky said too. That he did some things.
Yeah. Well, she blew it. But anyway.
She blew it.
Yeah. I mean, that in and of itself is pretty raunchy because, I mean, it's a 21-year-old intern and you're the president.
Yeah.
But that's ancient history. But the current history is this. Like, if Trump really committed crimes, we'll find out. But it's just bludgeoning us over the head every single day. Yeah. It's like enough, or I don't care anymore. I don't want either one of them.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's just too divisive. It's too. We gotta.
Well, it doesn't matter who's in there right now. It's all about money. It's all driven about money. So yeah.
It's always been that way. I think now we're just more aware of it because it's more.
Okay. So you know how much I respect you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need your guidance here.
Okay.
I think I know the answer. So after the show on Monday, I did not talk to you about me enforcing the noise ordinance rules around here. Have I discussed this with you?
No.
So
you have a badge? I mean, you carry a badge?
It's internally. It's in my heart.
Yeah, okay.
It's in my heart. Yeah. So I should get a badge. It's funny. I think I've got a badge around here from something else. I can get. That's funny. That's good.
Well, you know, okay. I just tell you a quick story. I won't mention his name, but I was working with him. He was in New Jersey at the time. He had some issues to work through, and he got, I guess, cut off going in to get a pizza. And like you get those, like when you played, you got the card.
The frontal cortex is not working properly.
Yeah, so he jumps out with his shield he got from some law enforcement agency, like a get out of jail card if you get pulled over, and he impersonates a cop.
Oh.
And I told him, I said, dude,
Yeah,
Can't
not
do
good.
that.
Not
But
good.
anyhow, I'm sorry. So what?
Okay.
No,
All right. So in Condominium complex, beautiful complex, wooded, pool. Must be like 300 or 400 units here too. So as people move out, if it's not in good enough shape or new enough, they'll redo the refurbished interior. So there's construction that's going on. No, it's not awful, but so so it goes back to when we had the ladder throwing incident about 2 years ago. So I had researched the town ordinance, and they can have construction noise up until 6 o'clock Monday to Friday, and up until 3 o'clock on Saturday. No noise on Sundays. So it's Monday after your show, and I'm in a good mood because you and I get to talk. The educational, help the planets, Captain Nemo, the universes. And so they're making noise. Now I go down. I say, stay in a good mood. So I go down, knock on the door. I said, listen, guys, I'm sorry. I know you want to work hard and get all this done. It's about 6:30 now, and I admire you because you want to work so hard, but you can't be making noise, construction noise after 6. Guy was good about it. I think they put some stuff away, so they had about 5 more minutes and they were done. All good. I felt good about myself. It was a intelligent conversation. 2 days later, Wednesday, they're back at it again. It's like about 6:30, 7 o'clock again. So now I'm fuming. So as I walk towards the place, I get more mad, right? Because they just keep on going. The guy sees me come. Little guy sees me coming, goes to talk to the boss. So they stop. So I forcefully open the door. I said, guys, I told you the other day, no more of this. And then this is where I got worse. The blood pressure was going. So I had to drop a couple of F-bombs. Like, hey, I told you. So now they stopped, and there hasn't been any more noise since. So.
Well, it's effective then. I mean, you got your point across.
Totally. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but the management here then sent out an email. And I don't know if it was just coincidence, but they announced to everybody that we could not enter the buildings that were under construction.
I don't think that was coincidence.
Yeah, I know.
Well, here's the thing. Also, check your driveway for nails now.
Well, see, it's a condominium complex, so I don't have just a driveway it's a community drive parking lot. Yeah.
Just don't let them know which car is yours.
I know. Well, see, that's the thing too. Maybe Mr. Cocky's like, I'm in Unit 6F. If you want me,
we're gonna have to get you one of those badges.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I never thought of that. That's good. I should get one that makes it like really goofy looking, right? That I'll put it on.
Put a whole uniform on.
Oh,
buy a uniform. Yeah.
That's what I'll do. I'll get some T-shirt like a noise inspector. I'll be the noise inspector.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh God.
Walk around with a decibel meter.
That's funny. Danny Erickson. It is. What if the head boss turned out to be Tiger Woods? Well,
that's on.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
It's on.
I guess I keep forgetting that come July and August, then it gets quiet.
Yeah.
Well, other than construction noise, but it's quiet around here.
Yeah. One of the great things about that trip Beth and I took to Utah was just quiet. Yeah, it was really cool.
When you live, obviously living around here or the New York metropolitan area, New Jersey, Connecticut, you forget what other parts of the country are like, right?
Oh,
how
absolutely.
quiet it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even out here, it's pretty quiet most of the time, but it depends where you're going.
Were you in the Hamptons?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's your other house?
Not mine.
I'm
waiting for the cops to come because I kind of feel like I broke in here or something.
That's funny. No, Danny, we're going without air conditioning. So last year, as everybody knew, I was trying to show people about breaking out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I purposely went without air conditioning. Now I've just gotten used to it where I just don't feel like I need it. Now it's different. It's me. Like you're there with Beth and everything. So
yeah.
But
I don't like air conditioning that's too strong because summertime. You want to walk around in shorts and a t-shirt or a tank top. So you go in a grocery store now, like, man, it's gonna snow. It's gonna literally snow in there.
No kidding. You go to Costco. Costco's got that thing where they'll have all the fresh produce and everything. So it's like a freezer in there.
Yeah, I understand it's got to be cold, but
yeah. Oh, that's funny. My boy Norris, the chicken man from Costco, saw him the other day. There's a young woman he works with, real sweet person too, and she's a big Survivor fan. So she sees me. She goes, "What season are you on again?"
So wait, you know the dude's name at Costco?
Yeah. We're buddies. Oh, cool. Yeah. Right. So I walk in. He's just. I hope I say this the right way. He's a dark skinned man. He's a black man. Got the really white teeth. So when he smiles, and he's always smiling. Yeah. He's in a great mood all the time.
Sure.
So I see him now across, obviously Costco is a huge place. I see him, and he starts shaking his because he knows what I'm going to do. I yell out, "Norris, the chicken man!" I'm going like this and like that.
That's
He's going,
awesome.
"Oh my god, you're crazy!"
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we got buddies. Actually, I've got to be buddies with a few guys at Costco. I think because
Yeah.
people going in there probably are maybe not treating them the right way, all the employees all the time. So I come in like, I'm a
Well, how many times a week do you go there?
I look for reasons to go. I'll
Yeah.
intentionally not buy everything that I need so that I can come back again the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days.
So I noticed when my mom got older, because I'm doing it.
Oh.
She would go to the store every single day instead of going and making like a list. And but that's what I'm doing now. Like I work out or whatever I'm doing, and I go to the store. I'll buy like one cucumber.
Yeah, well, especially when it's
2 chicken breasts.
Well, especially now when it's so quiet, right? It's like you're looking for things to do. I'm going to Costco. Man,
Yeah.
having fun.
I think I heard you.
I think it is my voice, right?
It is your voice. Yeah, it's been quiet all morning.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Dougie. Hey, Dougie.
So we had a test swim Saturday. I went down to Long Branch, New Jersey, for the swim.
Oh, yes, I saw that posted. Yes.
Yeah, we had a huge turnout. I think there were like 50 Patriots, a combination of Patriots and LEO and first responders for the test for the swimming, and they all passed. It was great. It was a great day. And I tell you.
What do you do for testing? So again, the event is August 19th, starting at Liberty State Park. Well, how do you test them? You obviously put them in the water.
So what it is? It's a mile along the coast with the current, and then there's a kayak there. You turn around, it's a mile against the current going back. So it's really much. That's the test on the way back, obviously. Wow. And so we had so many people. There were 2 groups that went out.
Right.
Two different groups. But I have to tell you, man, Bill Brown.
Yeah.
So
everybody just sort of rough, just so everybody knows, Bill Brown is more. We're all friendly, but Mark works out with him a lot. He's a retired Navy SEAL, fantastic guy. He's a lawyer now in New Jersey. Does so much. So I just want to make sure everybody knew who Bill Brown was.
Yeah, no. So yeah, exactly. And Bill, this is his baby. This is his swim. I've been fortunate enough and honored enough to help him this is our 5th year doing this. And the first one we did way back when was kind of informal because it was probably half a dozen or 8 people.
Yeah.
And now, so we just get there and jump in the water and do the thing. But now Bill, it's so organized. It's great. He gets everybody in a massive circle. He's got American flags in the ground all over the place. And they warm up with push-ups and some stroke, butterfly strokes on the ground and stuff like that. And then Bill spoke.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'll send you a copy of it.
Oh, yeah. Please do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Bill spoke and like you're just ready to do whatever's needed.
The first time I went there and Bill spoke, he goes, I paraphrase when I say this, but it's like, beautiful. You're all beautiful people, beautiful black man, beautiful white man, beautiful Asian man. But when he uses the word beautiful, but when he's saying it, it's like
you understand what he means.
Oh.
And he spoke to pretty much what you and I were talking about a few seconds ago earlier, about the country and how divided it is. And he made some great points that like we need to stop that. We need to get back together as a unit. But there was a gentleman there, Roger. Forgive me, I can't remember his last name. It might have been Crossley or something like that. Vietnam vet, and then he went back to Afghanistan in 2002, I think.
Was this the guy you told me about him, right? He was in
no,
his
that's
60s?
I was telling you a story about Billy Waugh. But it's kind of a similar story. Billy Waugh went to Afghanistan as a 72-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And but that gentleman spoke as well, and it was it just when he went around the whole circle, because what he had everybody do, it's kind of like training camp where you stand up and you say where you're from, where you played, whatever.
Right.
Everybody got up and said I'm either law enforcement or fire, or I'm a patriot. I just come here, but they all had to speak to why they're there, what motivated them to do this swimming, and it was phenomenal because it was just pretty much a common thread is want to make things better.
I want to stay on that topic. I just want to answer this one question from Danny Erickson here, because it does get me thinking sometimes. Hey, do you think you had the goods to be Navy SEAL? I don't want to be disrespectful to the gentlemen that actually are, and they're actually are Navy SEALs, so they're special people. No, that's not Pepper, by the way. That's Mark's neighbor. So the dog barking. You'd like to think that you could do it, right? I mean, I'm sure you're in the same boat. Like, because
but I pretty much know that. No,
really.
No, well, there's a couple of reasons, but the biggest one is I don't want to jump out of an airplane at 30,000 feet.
Yeah, I know.
That would have been, that's a deal breaker for me. But and they're all it's a different breed of human being.
Yeah.
Anybody that's in the military to begin with, and then when you're a special operator, whether it's Green Beret, MARSOC, SEALs, Delta Force, whatever it might be, they're just a really unique
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And they have skill sets that are, I know I met a gentleman by the name of Zach Harrison who was Delta Force, and we had done a seminar together. But anyhow, he was explaining to me that like in Delta Force, they look for, if you can do the physical part of it, they're looking for you to bring something that they don't currently have. So maybe you're a really good mechanic.
Oh.
Hey, that's a skill set that may be needed in combat. Something breaks down. We have, so anyhow, but as far as the perseverance and the mental fortitude and the physicality of it.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you think, I mean, obviously there's special people before they go into BUDS training, but do you think the BUDS training takes that to a whole different level?
Yeah. Oh, well, I think what it does, it illustrates, and I would like Bill Brown or Kenny Bigby and any of those guys to jump in if they're listening and explain to me really what it is. But I think it allows the leadership to see who really has what it takes. Because there's been a lot of, and who's that? Danny Erickson that asked that question?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of Division I athletes that were studs that went to BUDS. They didn't have the resilience.
Right.
Because it's about resiliency.
And do you think you kind of, sorry,
40% extra.
Right. Do you think you kind of show yourself too? Like I'm sure once they go through it, they go, "Wow, I mean that was hard. This is one of the hardest things people go through."
Yeah.
And I went through
absolutely.
it. So now they have even more confidence in themselves and their abilities to fight through things too, right?
Well, and again, I'm speaking out of school because I'm not a SEAL and I don't pretend to be. But I also think that it's team building because you go all as a group, you go through, everybody goes through the same process and you have a common bond and you made it through and now you went through BUDS and then, then the real training starts with your all.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? Because for me, when I meet another former NHL hockey player, it's like your brother right away.
It's exactly, and that's what Bill always speaks to. That the SEAL community is, look, they're tier 1 type A personalities. I mean, there's a lot of this, but this is going on, and then something comes their way, then it becomes this. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, totally. Hold on, Danny's got a question. Hey, Tom, what goods do you think you lack that would prevent you from being Navy SEAL? Well, first of all, just got to correct you on the Navy. We write SEAL, you got to write capitals on all. It's an acronym, Sierra Land. I didn't know that. Actually, Mark corrected me a couple of years ago on that, so I just out of respect for them, make sure that we do that. What do I lack? Well, you'd like to think that you don't lack anything really, because like to Mark's point, yes, you need to be strong enough physically to swim and all those kinds of things, but it's just understanding that you're going to get through the pain, right? Like that's the thing to me. It's like I'd like to think, okay, I have never trained myself to be a Navy SEAL, but have I done a lot of training in the past where you're doing things in small things? When I first started off, told this story. Roger Nielsen was coaching the Peterborough Petes. I was drafted by the Petes. He sent me the first training program I ever saw. So I'm out on the dirt roads out and around the farm, and I'm running, and I start getting shin splints. And nobody knew what it was, but the doctor says you get shin splints. So we said, what do we do? Get back out there and run again, right? It's just you don't stop because of the pain. And you grew up that same way. And I think that's that's not the only thing to train to be a SEAL, but that's one of the things, right? Know that you're going to get through it. Right.
It's like in the fighting world, you're going to get hurt in a fight. Yeah. I mean, whether it's boxing or mixed martial arts or whatever it might be, you're gonna take some damage. Just try to inflict more damage on the other guy.
Right.
But I think the resiliency part is so critical, and this is a term I've heard over and over and over from different SEALs talking about that whole BUDS process and going through that is just that resiliency, because there's an acronym they use called VUCA, meaning volatility, uncertainty, chaos, and ambiguity. Meaning when you're in combat, you have a plan, and then you have your contingency plan, but because you don't know exactly what you're going to be faced with.
Yeah, that's the one thing I learned. I was so fortunate to go down to Virginia Beach there, and they gave me a tour of the barracks there, and they talked about that they train for 3 times. So if they're going out for a 6-month mission, I know you know this, but they'll train for 18 months for that 6 months mission, and they train to the point of failure because they want to know where that failure is, right? So now they can adapt to it.
So what I think we should do is get Bill on. Maybe, I don't know, he's really busy, but maybe next week or the following week. And what I'd like to do with you at some point is it's in Long Island. I don't know exactly where it is, but there's a Navy SEAL museum. And the SEAL that runs that is the CEO and director. He'll be at the swim. I'm working with him now with some stuff on the swim, but if you're not, we should take a ride there and do a show from there.
That's
one day.
cool. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I got another show. So I was going to ask you something there. Well, I'm bouncing around a bit, but I want to come back to this. Oh, I'm sorry. August 19th is the date of the swim.
Correct.
It starts at Liberty State Park. Again, the charity this year, it's changed now that it's the
Well,
Navy SEAL.
it's the Navy SEAL Foundation now.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're it speaks for itself.
Right. So anybody, you can go to Navy SEAL Foundation now, make a donation, donate your time. Look at it. So again, August 19th, fantastic event. No matter what, I just really highly recommend either you go to Liberty State Park when they start. The presentation they put on, the speeches, it's patriotic. It gets goosebumps, you get tears in your eyes. It's fantastic. Bill Brown again leads it up, but there's other people that speak. The first year I was there, remember the Navy SEAL guy? No, he was a Marine, wasn't he? That spoke. Remember?
The older gentleman, yeah.
Yes. Oh man.
I think
Yeah, and he's one like he talked about the Constantine and all that kind of stuff, and he just like the way he spoke to and he's got about 100 Navy SEALs he's speaking to, but he like powerful, like and just emotional and everything too. And then Bill, when he gets up and speak, he's just got that way about him too. But it is so August 19th, Liberty State Park. Wants to swim, and that's early in the morning too, correct?
Yeah, if anybody's interested in donating, obviously that's a great thing. If you're interested in going to the event, go to NavySealFoundation.org. I believe from what Bill said, they're going to get wet at like 7:30 a.m. It's it's an early start this year, and the reason they do that has to do with the currents.
Right.
Why it's varied over the years.
Will they still have the same presentation or length of presentation?
Nothing's changing. It's just earlier this year. They're going to get into water like around 7:30. So probably.
Cool.
My guess is the benediction would probably be around, and the push-ups and the flag run about 6 or 6:30ish.
Right. So if you can get there for that, I know it's early in the morning. Then the other option is if you're in Manhattan, you can go to lower Manhattan where they swim in, and they don't do quite the presentation there, but it's still pretty emotional. They have the bagpipes going on. So again, it's this fantastic scene. You got these, like, again, how many, 100, 150, 200 men and women, a few women as well. And the men, Navy SEALs are all jacked. They get the tiny little shorts on. They got a flagpole with the U.S. flag over their shoulders, and they're marching through the streets, and the bagpipes are going.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, it really is. And if anybody wants to watch it and they can't get there, it'll be on Fox News.
That's right.
Because there's two, Will Kane and Pete Hegstad. Pete's swam twice, I think.
Yep.
And this will be Will's first.
Right.
Will Kane. He did a dial-in swim with Bill and Ryan Thomas 3 weeks ago. Dude looked like he swam Division I. He's taller than Will, and he's like got that.
Is Will Kane the guy that had the orange sign on his hospital door? Who was that?
No. Will Kane's a Fox News anchor.
Oh, okay. But who's the guy? What's
Jason Redman, and he'll be swimming this year as well. Absolutely.
So anybody that doesn't know that, I posted it before and I'll post it again. So Jason Redman was hurt pretty badly in battle and was in the hospital. And I guess people were starting, I think I've got the story correct. People were starting to come in and kind of like whining and crying, like, oh, poor you and everything. And he and his wife, I did some research on he and his wife sat down. I guess he dictated, she wrote it down. The sign, and it was just incredible. Basically saying, listen, if you're coming into this room, there'll be nobody's feeling sorry for me. I'm gonna get better, and then I'm gonna go 10% beyond that, or whatever it was. So this is what they say rules. This is a management's rules, seriously.
Yeah. If you just Google Jason Redman letter or sign, whatever, it'll come right up, and it's pretty. It's amazing actually what it is.
Yeah, like to have an attitude like that where everybody else is feeling sorry for you, and you're saying, no way, that's not happening. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's part of that resiliency. Baked into them.
Again, August 19th. I got another fantastic event too. August 3rd, up in Stamford, Connecticut, Terry Connors rink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's shoulder check. I think it's called Operation Shoulder Check.
Like head check, maybe.
Yeah. So Dave Maloney's emceeing. I'm honored they invited me to be there as well. We're going to be doing a podcast. Tom Smith and I'll be there. There's some current NHL players. I think Chris Kreider, Fox, a few guys.
The Benejad's going to be there. I read this yesterday. Yeah. That sounds cool.
So we'll be there doing a podcast in there as well. So again, that's August 3rd at Terry Connors. It starts at 6:00. A great cause again. It's in Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh, Stamford.
Yeah, 6:00. A Terry Connors rink in Stamford again. I think I'll post that as well. It's Operation Shoulder Check. We will be having I'm not sure who will come on. And Mr. Zegras that plays for.
Oh yeah, for Anaheim.
So his father's involved in this somehow. We may be having him on. I think it all started. A young man lost his life up in Darien or New Canaan or something.
Somewhere in Connecticut. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put this together to help. I think it's to bring young boys and girls together to help each other out. to be there for each other, in a mental health standpoint, to ask each other if they need help. So it's a great cause. Real honor to be involved with stuff like that. Again, we'll do a couple of shows leading up to it, and then we'll do a show from the event itself. So
That's awesome. That sounds like a really
Yeah.
great event and great cause, obviously.
yeah, totally. And I'd like to see that the players are coming in, the current players are
Yeah,
coming in too,
yeah.
because I think a few of them live up in this area as well. Still, I mean,
Well,
they're
Kreider's
taken out
from
of the,
Connecticut, isn't he? I think Chris
He's-
is from Connecticut.
yeah, I think he lives in Roway.
I think Fox is from where? Long Island?
I think he's a Long Island kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna interview him and ask him if he grew up dreaming of being like Tom Laidlaw when he.
Well, he probably did. He's probably going to be like a little embarrassed or
Yeah.
starstruck.
I was actually going to say to him first to say he probably doesn't even know who I am or what number I wore. So I was going to say to him, I said, "Did you grow up dreaming of wearing number 2?" I think he's going to be thinking about Brian Leach, right?
Yeah.
And I could say, "No. Who's
Just
Brian
tell
Leach?"
him, when you look up and you see number 2, that wasn't me, but I had that
Yeah,
beforehand.
yeah, totally. I had it first. Yeah. Leach is funny too. I give him a hard time, and he comes back with some good. We had two events. We do the Skate with the Greats, Ronald McDonald House, and I'm the MC for that one. So I've got the mic all the time, but he sings me good. Like I try to
He's
get
good.
him.
He's a pretty quiet guy, but he's
Yeah.
low key. Slides
yeah.
in there.
I kind of feel the college is king in our country, and the military takes it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to somebody today, a friend of mine, her son became an electrician and is 22 years old. I thought that's really cool because right now, not many people are trying to be electricians. It's a great career to get into, right?
I went to get my oil changed. There's a Goodyear, like right around the block. And he said, I can get you in about 3 weeks. I go, oh, what?
Oh.
No one's buying cars now. So
Oh.
everybody's trying to hold on to because the interest rates are so high and everything.
Right.
So they're trying to hold on and make cars last longer.
Right.
So I said, well, that's a good problem. It's not really. He's got he's turning work away.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But and to your point, try to get an electrician, try to get a plumber. You can't find them.
Yeah.
And I would tell a young man, listen, if you're not a college young man or lady, if a woman, if you're not a college person, just go learn a trade, man. You'll become million.
It's true. Yeah, and you think, well, everybody thinks you don't make much money. Well, that will change over time, right? Because there'll be fewer people.
Changed.
Yeah. True. So again, 2 great events coming up. August 3rd, Terry Connors Rink in Stamford, Connecticut. We'll promote that show some more. We'll have somebody on from that. It's the shoulder check. I guess I'll post that online. But that's the fun of it too. And the August 19th one, I guess we've talked before. Fantastic event.
If anybody wants to go again, it's even if you don't have to go to need to go to the website, you can be there. Go to the Fallen Towers Memorial in Liberty State Park, and that's where we'll be. That's where it'll be.
Right. And if you can't get there, the one over in Lower Manhattan is not quite as much of a presentation as the one when they at Liberty State Park, but still, it's to support the guys to get they're raising awareness for the Navy SEAL Foundation to raise money for other veterans. Or is it just Navy SEAL? I think they probably help other veterans as well. Or is it just that?
I'm not sure, but yeah, of course. I mean, probably, yeah. It's there's just not enough help from the VA.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a lot of issues with my hockey program because we have the national tournament coming up in Denver in October, and you have to have a minimum 10% VA rating to be able to play in the tournament. So
what does that mean, Mark? Sorry to interrupt you. What does that mean?
So you have to have a minimum 10% disability rating from the VA.
Gotcha.
We have players that have 100%, and then there's other men and women that for whatever reason they would qualify, but they choose not to. It might have something to do with privacy issues. They don't want whoever their employer is to know the quote unquote. But anyhow, so the VA works very slowly, and I have a couple players that have put the paperwork in. They're still waiting.
Oh.
So I have to look to get special waiver for them to participate. But yeah, so the point is, foundations like the Navy SEAL Foundation are much needed. And that's a SEAL community. I mean, those guys are like this.
Yeah.
And
so two great causes. And hopefully, is Kenny Bigby Jr., my buddy, is he going to be swimming or is he?
I don't know. I got to look at the list. I hope so. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a year.
What a fun guy he is.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
I've
been
got
traveling all over the planet.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah. So we need to make sure we do a couple of shows to promote that too. If Bill wants to come on or.
Yeah.
Remember, I want to touch on. Remember the first show we did? We had 3 guys on. Kenny was on, and 2 other guys, and
Kenny, I think Johnny Martin.
Yeah.
And he was out in San Diego, so it was like 3 a.m. for him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then there was the recruiting guy too, right? Who's the recruiter?
Kenny. His name not Kenny. It's Kenny.
Yes, that's right. Well, it was funny with him. He was from Utah, I think it was. and he said he's a Navy SEAL, and they're in the
Still
water
active.
all the time, right? And he hates the water.
Yeah.
Well, why? What's the whole?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Bigby and Bill, they didn't swim until they went into
Yeah.
the Navy.
Didn't he say that he was? Kenny was saying he's going to shower in cold showers because to get used to the cold water. And some guy walked by. Listen, you're never going to get used to the cold water. Take a warm shower.
When you get a chance, take the warm shower.
Yeah. You know, they're all like this too. But one of the things I noticed, and we've talked about this before, it's worthwhile saying again. The guy, like, I'll use Kenny as an example. But when you have what I've noticed with those guys, pretty much to a man, when you have a conversation with them, if they've asked you a question, you're speaking, totally focused in. No interrupting, just they really want to listen. We were talking on the show, we talked about closing the gap. So in hockey terms, you know this, if you're a defenseman, my job is to close the gap so I don't give that other guy, the offensive player, an opportunity to do what he wants to do. And I explained that to Kenny. He was like, wow. He says, because he just used different terminology, but it's yeah, you use that all you want, but basically it's the same thing when they're in battle. They don't let the opposition breathe. They get on top of them. And
Kenny's a really amazing person. I mean,
Yeah.
he had a scholarship for dance at Ball State University in Indiana.
Did he really? Wow.
I think he had another one from another school on the table.
Wow.
So I think it was the second or third swim. They had a party and they had a dance off. Right? You can guess who won that one.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you never think that way. Like, he's the true warrior, right? Like, he's just like so focused, in great shapes, get the six pack going on there.
Shredded.
I know.
Absolutely
I have my picture.
shredded.
I got my picture taken with him. I think it was the swims like 2 ago. I think when he was there last year. And I made sure I kept my shirt on. You know, I was feeling good about myself, but not staying beside Kenny.
Well, he was. We did a tactical thing a while back, and during lunch, he was telling Bill Brown stories, and he was telling his story, and he was talking about I forget the gentleman's name, but whatever. He was having a tough time in the pool one day, and he came up to the pool like this, exhausted, and one of the instructors just came over and pushed him back in, and Kenny goes like, "I have no body fat. I'm bobbing around in the water, hey, this is fun."
Yeah.
But the way, I mean, I don't give justice, but when he tells the story, it's hysterical.
Kenny's good.
Yeah.
He's good. Oh, Danny Harris is stirring the pot here today. Tom had us lost, but Bossy walked around anyways. So there's a play, and Danny's a troublemaker. So in the game 1984 series, like Game 5, when Kenny Morrow scored the winning goal, Bossy, I was out there a lot with Bossy was out there, and he was talking about closing the gap. So I was right beside him. Puck comes to me. I'm thinking I'm getting rid of this puck right away. I go to shoot it away, and it hits off his skate. He goes in and scores on a breakaway. Well, that wasn't quite a breakaway. So you want to raise the point, Danny. That's exactly how it happened. But I wouldn't change that. I've told people this a few times. I did what I wanted to do. It just that's didn't work out. That's life. So
that a point.
Yeah, definitely. All right, brother. Good to see you. Geez, we went over 30 minutes here, quick.
Yeah.
Dog.
Well,
hey, doggy.
No, it's gone.
No, it's gone.
Sophie came up. Sophie, come here. You want to say hello to Tom? Yesterday, she's walking around. She won't go in the water. She's a Portuguese water dog, and she won't go in the friggin' water.
Has she been in the water before?
Never.
Oh, wow.
She won't go in. She's a water dog. We got ripped off. So she's walking around here, and she's like trying to figure out how to make this not happen.
Okay.
And she walks headfirst into a chair over there. I got it on video. It was amazing. It was incredible. Yeah.
Well, you and I do that too. I do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's catching up on dingers.
Yeah, very good. How old is she?
7.5. Yeah. But she still acts like a puppy. Yeah.
Who's the really intelligent black man that speaks all the time? Always putting on speeches. Get the mustache.
Cornel West?
Might have been, yeah. He did a presentation on talking about how dogs, because you 7 years to one dog year. So I guess the theory is, and the way he put it was very intelligent, though, that dogs get 7 more times out of each day than we do.
Right. Yeah.
That's
but
pretty cool.
I wonder what jet lag for a dog is like. It's
Jet lag?
horrible.
That's true too. Yeah. Imagine that.
Before we go up, listen, I got a friend, I won't mention him, he thinks the world's flat. I think he's right. Think about this. The world is 70% water, right?
Right.
Just like your body. We're all 70%. It's kind of neat. But is that water carbonated? It's flat.
Oh, nice one. All right, buddy. Have a great day. That was good. I didn't know where you're going with that. Get out of here. See you.
Me neither.